our dear viewers, and welcome to a special edition of our program Africa Today, where we are going to tackle the investment in Africa. But we were still just covering the press conference for Russian President Vladimir Putin, who said on Wednesday that Russia will continue developing its military potential and the combat readiness of the nuclear forces against the backdrop of Moscow's offensive in the western-backed Ukraine. At a televised defense meeting, Putin said that the Russian armed forces are increasing the capabilities constantly and every day to improve the combat readiness of the nuclear trade. While the Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu addressed the meeting and said that Russia's forces were actively destroying Ukraine's military potentials and accused the West of trying to drag out the conflict in Ukraine. Shoigu said that the recent mobilization drive, which called up to 300,000 reservists to the armed forces, had been a serious test for the country and the army, but had increased the Russian combat capabilities. Back to our topic for discussion today, that the Minister of International Cooperation in Egypt, Rania Al-Mashat, announced that in 2022, $13.7 billion was secured to support Egypt's national development objective, including of the $11.1 billion were directed to sovereign projects across various economic activities and $2.6 billion for the private sector.
Minister of International Cooperation Rania Al-Mashat announced on Tuesday that Egypt secured development financing worth $13.7 billion in 2022 to support its national development objectives, with $11.1 billion directed to sovereign projects across various economic activities and $2.6 billion dedicated for the private sector. Al-Mashat explained that $11 billion included $2.4 billion for budget support to be distributed by June 2023. It will be used for expanding social spending, including food security, universal health, insurance, and social protection programs. The minister also pointed out that $2.6 billion financing to the private sector was secured through cooperation with many development partners. Al-Mashat said that the strong relationship Egypt enjoys with development partners, both bilateral and multilateral, has allowed the expansion of development finance to the private sector, including through Egypt's banking sector. The minister added that despite successive challenges since 2020, Egypt has still been able to maintain strong relations with its development partners, mobilizing the necessary financing to support the country's development efforts in line with the Sustainable Development Goals.
And to shed light on the issue, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Ambassador Bayoumi, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. How are you?
How are you, sir? Sir, Minister of International Cooperation Rania Al-Mashat announced that Egypt secured development financing worth of $13.7 billion in 2022 to support the national development objectives. What's your take on that, Mr. Ambassador?
Very important issue, and I hope that we can attract foreign direct investment also, because there are two ways in order to finance our aims and our economic reform policies and our new projects. Either to borrow, and then of course the project will belong to us, or to encourage Egyptians living abroad and Arabs and foreigners from United States, Europe, Japan, China to come and to invest in our country. And this is one reason of why we are establishing the Suez Canal zone to ask our partners to come and invest. So it is a very good development, and as Egypt can bring this sort of finance every year, this means that we are have the chance to get the confidence of the whole world, starting by the international monetary organizations, IMF or the World Bank or others, because they wouldn't give us loans unless they are sure that we can give back what we are borrowing.
Yes.
This is the first thing we get from the IMF. Second, that they give us advices comparing our situation with other experiences in other countries, and we apply the stories of success. Third, that they every now and then, periodically, they issue reports about the state of the Egyptian economy, which up till now it is always positive, thank God, and that Egypt is ahead of many, many, many other countries.
Yes.
Those are what we benefit from getting finance from the International Monetary Fund and its brother organizations. Of course, some of us is against borrowing. Okay, let us make savings instead of that.
Yes.
But our savings up till now, it cannot cover all our aims. We need to save 30% of our income. What we are saving, in fact, is 16%. So the gap should be filled whether by borrowing or by increasing our ability to attract foreign direct investments.
Indeed. Sir, how far has the strong relationship Egypt is enjoying with the development partners allowed the expansion of the development finance?
It is well known that Egypt is among the most attractive countries for foreign direct investment. Also, we are benefiting from what we call economic aid. We get aid from United States, from Europe, and they're still jealous that we do not get enough. They told us that. I witnessed meetings between our ministers of foreign affairs and ministers of Japan, of the World Bank, of the Central Bank of Europe. All of them are encouraging us to get money and to borrow. Why? Because they are sure that we are going on the right track and we can give back whatever we get. This is good. The other good news that Egypt is one of the best countries who is making very good use of what the money is coming from.
Yes.
We never borrow unless it is certainly for certain projects.
Yes.
Those projects are on our plan, and if any Egyptian or anybody who wants to see our plan, it is on the website of the Ministry of Planning. Nothing is secret and everything is declared, and we have a sort of transparency which make our partners, all of them, confident that we are up to it.
Yes. Mr. Ambassador, would you shed light on the role of the International Cooperation Ministry in supporting the projects to enhance the sustainable development?
I had the chance and the pleasure to work for the Ministry of International Cooperation for 11 years.
Yes.
But also I know it since it was established half a century ago. And it is the focal point in Egypt to manage and to direct whatever finance coming from abroad to support Egypt, whether it is foreign direct investment or borrowing or economic assistance for development. All of these are managed by this ministry, which is divided in sectors. They have Arab sector, American sector, European sector, international sector, and they are doing really a fine job. We can get confidence through their performance all over the years.
Indeed, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister, always a pleasure to listen to your very precious input, sir. Thank you so much for being our guest for today. And with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of this edition of Africa Today. Many thanks for watching.